correlation and prediction, that's also called as regression. The goals of this section is to learn the meaning of correlation between two variables and how to measure it with the coefficient of correlation. To learn how to draw a scatter plot and a best fitting line, and to learn how to predict the value of a variable from the formula for the best fitting line, and to learn how to describe the effect one variable has upon the value of another. Variables can be classified into independent and dependent variables. That's on the basis of their interdependence. Classification or independent or explanatory variable, also known as predictor, is used to identify the observation, and it can be used as inputs to a system, and it may take different values freely. Generally represented as X, for example treatments like age or background. The response variable or dependent variable is the one that responds to independent or explanatory variable or predictors. So that is generally predicted by using these predictors. So the variable that responds to some predictor or treatment, its values change as a consequence of changes in other values in the system, that is those predictors, and it is generally represented as y. So we say y depends on x. So here for example we discuss height as depending upon age. So height depends on age, height is represented by y, and the independent variable age x, it can take any values, but as the x changes, since y depends on x, y also changes. We can plot them in a graph like this. So here on y-axis we have the grade on a 300 point exam represented by y, and we want to say over here is that y depends on x. So grade depends on x is hours studied for the exam. So grade depends upon how many hours you study for the exam, and so seems like both they are directly proportional to each other. So there is a direct relation between these two. So y depends on x, grade depends on hours studied. So we have a example of student data set that was there in the book. So some students and their interest in various subjects which are quantified by these numbers, and these are the students on the rows, and the column represents their interest in various subjects. So now we correlate these variables with one another. Interestingly here both the variables are numeric ones or continuous. We don't have categorical variables here. So we do have these other forms of correlations and regressions, but we are not covering here. So we're looking for simple linear relationships, and here we have their scores, which are the continuous variables, all of them, and we correlate them with each other first. So we draw what we call them the scatter plots for them. So math versus language seems like there is a direct relationship between these two, and if one increases the other increases. So this kind of relationship is a positive relationship. So we can say there seems like some correlation, and that correlation is positive. Maths versus interest in theater. These dots are not going perfectly on some line, so there seems like a correlation but not that good. Math versus interest in retailing. The line is going down, so if one is increasing the other is decreasing, so that's there is a relationship, but it's a negative correlation between these two. Again a poor correlation, dots are scattered. interest in theater versus interest in retailing. So we can calculate this, the magnitude of this relationship, the correlation through this variable r, small r, and this form is called as the Pearson correlation. So this how it is calculated, n into sum over x and y, the product of these two variables x and y. We can take all their numbers and we take those numbers in pairs and we simply multiply them, and finally we get the sum over all of them, and then multiply this with the n, the total numbers or total number of pairs we have in this data set, and minus sum of x and multiplied with sum of y's divided by square root of n into sum over x square minus sum over x and the square of that term into n over sum of y squares minus sum of y's squared, where n is the number of pairs, y is the label for first variable, and x is the label for the second variable. Again, in the example which we were following, math aptitude versus language. So here we take y for language and math on x-axis, and the sum of these numbers are here. Sum of x is 2875, sum over all these individual numbers. Y's are summed as here, sum of y is 3015, then their squares. Each individual number x is squared here, and these are the sum of the x squares, y squares, and their sum of y squares. The cross product, this term multiplied by this with this, and all the numbers are here, and finally we have the sum of this cross product x and y, and we plug in into this equation for this Pearson correlation R, and we calculate between math and language like this. We plug in the numbers and we do the mathematics, and finally what we get in the end is 0.999. That seems like close to 1. This correlation ranges between -1 to +1, +1 being a strong positively correlated, -1 being a strong negatively correlated, and the values in between. So here it's close to +1. So they seem like there is a very strong positive correlation between these two. We can also do this testing the significance of R. We can do hypothesis testing for R, and R, the Greek letter symbol used for this parameter for a population is rho. So we can test it as a two-tailed test where rho is equal to 0 versus not equal to 0. There is no correlation here, that means rho is equal to 0, and there is some correlation in the population, rho is not equal to 0. This way it's treated as a two-tailed test. Or what we can do is that there is some positive correlation, rho is greater than 0, one tail to the right test, or maybe our alternative hypothesis is there is some negative correlation, so rho is less than 0, we can do it as one tail to the left. This R critical, we can get it from the T table, so there is a T critical, and we can get this for those significant level like the alpha at 0.05. Most of the time we use 0.05, and we go for the respective degrees of freedom, and we can pick up that value of this T critical. We will do it in a moment in an example, and R critical can be calculated as this T critical divided by T square critical plus n minus 2 square root. So that is the critical value for T for n minus 2 degrees of freedom, and we can use this T table. So here, for example, if we have n is equal to 7 and alpha is 0.01, so we can also simulate this thing in Microsoft Excel. This is the expanded formula for this. You can do it in Excel, or there is a table there in the book. So if you want to do this one-tailed test, you can go for those one-tailed probabilities. Here if alpha is 0.05 and you want to go for one tail probabilities, you will follow this column, alpha 0.05. For two tail probabilities you would go into this column, and that way you can get your respective value for the R critical. Example 14.1 from the book. This is Neyman's book. So verbal aptitude and income. So in a study of academic success, a random sample of 30 public school kids in Plantock, New Hampshire was taken, and for each child this survey recorded verbal aptitude as determined by a commonly accepted test and the annual income of the child's family. So we believe that the aptitude depends upon the family income, and we got the 30 pairs of scores, income versus aptitude, and we computed R. Our R was calculated as 0.46. Seems like a low correlation, but still we're gonna do its hypothesis testing to get a p-value whether this R is significant or non-significant. Does this support the hypothesis that there is a positive correlation between verbal aptitude and family income in the children? And we test at 0.05 significance level. Population under consideration is all public school children in Plantock, New Hampshire. Sample in front of us is these 30 public school children, which we have it here in this. H naught, there is no correlation between verbal aptitude and family income in the population, so rho is equal to 0. There is a positive correlation between verbal aptitude and family income in the population, so we are doing it as a one tail to the right test, and since our number is positive, so we can go and do it as a one tail to the right test. Our table, so one tail probabilities for 0.05 and our n, our sample size over here is 30, 30 pairs of numbers. Our critical is 0.306 or 0.31 if we round it off. So this critical value is 0.31 plus or positive, and our calculated value for R was 0.46, so this is greater than this, the critical one, so we reject the null hypothesis, and since this R calculated is larger than R critical, so we reject H naught at alpha equal to 0.05, and we conclude that there is a positive correlation between verbal aptitude and family income, and that's we apply to the whole population of the children in Plantock, New Hampshire. Higher incomes are associated with higher verbal aptitude. But if you look into the actual value of this correlation coefficient, that's comparatively low. So most of the time in our work, though p-values are significant, but still we consider this factor, the magnitude of this correlation. Ideally, a number close to 1, that's good, or at least they should be greater than 0.50. So there is a positive correlation that's significant, but seems like the magnitude of this variable correlation coefficient seems like low. These are different shapes which we can see from our data set. If our data set is a perfect straight line, all those data points are on this straight line. That means a perfect or excellent positive correlation. So correlation value is 1 plus 1. Here it's 0.8. They are spreading, but still they are following a pattern on a straight line. More spread becomes a cloud here, so that means correlation is 0. Turning left, a negative correlation but weak, minus 0.4, stronger than this, so a negative correlation, minus 0.8, and this is minus 1, a perfect negative correlation. So this how these shapes they look like. And again, if you want to draw a straight line, the line goes like this. So these are the lines for them. And these patterns over here, they seem like no correlation. A diamond shape or a square shape or a circle or that kind of thing, they seem like no correlations.